Good morning. Today we'll discuss the properties of system. So the property of system describe the characteristics of operator H. Property of the system describe the characteristics of operator H representing the system. Operator H is which transform the input signal into the output signal. Okay. So the property of the system that describe the characteristics of operator H representing the system, and therefore the most basic properties of the system we will discuss one by one. So first property is the stability. A system is said to be bounded input, bounded output, that is a BO. Bounded input, bounded output, stable if and only if every bounded input results in a bounded output. Results in a bounded output. That system you can call it as a stable systems. So for every bounded input, your output should be bounded. That is the condition for the system to be stable. So output of such system does not diverge if the input does not diverge. What is the meaning of this? The output of the system does not diverge from its uh, expected values. Okay, if the input does not diverge. Okay, that is the condition. So put the condition for bounded input, bounded output stability on the formal basis. Consider one continuous time system whose uh, output and input relationship is described by the equations. So we generally describe the input and output equations by like this: y of t is equal to h of x of t. So that is in the continuous time systems. So input output relationship y of t is equal to h of x of t. So this is a H operator. Okay, that is responsible transforming the input signal into the output signals. So to put the condition for BO, that is bounded input, bounded output stability on the formal basis, let us consider the input output relationship. It is denoted by this equation. Give the equation number 1. Okay, so the operator H is bounded input, bounded output stable. The operator H is bounded input, bounded output stable if the output signal y of t satisfies the condition. Satisfy the condition हॅलो माझा क्लास सुरू आहे माझा output of the signal the operator H is bounded input bounded output stable if the output signal y of t satisfy the conditions, that is a modulus of y of t is less than or equal to m of y, which is less than infinity for all t. Okay, this is the condition. Whenever the input signal x of t satisfy the condition, okay, suppose whenever input signal x of t satisfy the condition, so what is the input now? X of t, magnitude of this input of x of t, it is a less than or equal to m of x, which is less than infinity for all t. Both here mx and my, these represents some finite positive number. Okay, so for bounded input and bounded output system, the operator H is bounded input and bounded output stable if the output of the signal satisfies the condition. So which condition? That is output of this magnitude, which is less than or equal to m of y, which is less than infinity for all t. And whenever the input signal is also x of t satisfy the condition, that is x of t, magnitude of x of t is less than or equal to m of x, which is less than infinity for all t. And these both mx and my, these are represent some finite positive numbers. It is a finite positive numbers. Therefore, we may describe the condition for bounded input, bounded output stability of the discrete time system in a similar way. We have to also describe this in the for the discrete time system. So how you can represent this in the discrete time system? So let us consider the from engineering perspective, it is important that the systems of interest remain stable under all possible operating conditions. For from engineering perspective, means we develop the system and we think that that system will remain stable under all possible operating conditions. Only then is the system guaranteed to produce the bounded output for the bounded input. Okay. So unstable system are usually to be avoided. Whenever such unstable systems are there in the nature, that systems we have to avoid unless some mechanism can be found to stabilize them. Okay. So there are some unstable system are also there in the nature, and therefore we have to uh, uh, convert them into the stable, that means stable systems, because whenever it is a stable system, then and then we can use any tools for the analysis of the stable systems. Whenever it is unstable system, there are very few tools for the analysis of the system. So let us consider one moving system which shows the moving average systems. Okay, moving average system, for example, moving average systems. Okay, so moving average system, it is a, let us consider one example. X of n is equal to 1, 0, and this n equal to -1 and n equal to 1. Okay, and this n is equal to 0 and this magnitude of n is greater than 1. So let us consider this system. Okay, so here we have to consider x of n, assume that okay, the moving average systems, some students they have joined now. So we'll consider another system, that is a moving average systems. Instead of this, we'll consider a moving average system, a discrete time system whose output signal is, suppose, signal is y of n, and which is the average of 3 recent values of input signals. So 3 input signals are there, x of n plus x of n minus 1 plus x of n minus 2. Okay. So the moving average systems, and the output signal y of n is equal to the average of the most recent values of input signal x of n. Okay, so such system is referred to as a moving average system for two reasons. First, first reason is y of n is average. Okay, y of n is average. Average of the sample values, average of the sample values x of n, comma x of minus 1, x of n minus 1 and x of n minus 2. And second reason why this is a moving average system is that the value of y of n changes as n moves along the discrete time axis. Okay, the value of y of n, this value of y of n changes as n moves along the discrete time axis. Discrete time axis. Okay. Therefore, to formulate the operator for these systems, develop the block diagram. Suppose input is suppose here x of t. Okay. Then there is the operator h, and this is the y of t. Okay. So this is for the continuous systems, and for the discrete time systems, this is the continuous time systems. Okay. Then what is the discrete time? It is denoted by x of n. Okay. It is denoted by x of n, operator h, and this is a y of n. So this is a discrete time systems. So this is a block diagram, a representation of the operator h. Okay. Now we are discussing that the moving average systems, and we have to see whether the bounded input, bounded output stability, and therefore we have to assume that we have seen that is x of n is magnitude of x of n is less than m of x, which is less than infinite. This is for all n. This is for the discrete time signal. Okay. And we have to use the input output relationship using input output relation, and that relation just we have seen, that is y of n is equal to moving average system, that is a 3 system, that is 1 by 3 1 by 3. This is x of n plus x of n minus 1 plus x of n minus 2. Okay. So this is the y of n, and this y of n we may write like this now, which is less than or equal to 1 by 3 x of magnitude of x of n plus modulus of x of n minus 1 plus modulus of x of n minus 2. Okay, So these values is less than or equal to 1/3, as the finite positive value for x of n is mx. So this is x of n. X of n plus this some finite value of the second input x of n minus 1, and so it is okay. So as they are all the inputs, so this is the also some finite positive values m of x. Okay, so this total is equal to some finite value. If you find the values addition of this, we will get some finite value m of x. Okay, hence the absolute value of output signal y of n is always less than the maximum absolute value of the input signal x of n, and that is for all n, which shows that the moving average system is stable. Okay, so here we can write here the absolute value of the output signal. What is the output signal is y of n is always less than the maximum absolute value of the input signal. For all n, which shows that the moving average system is stable, which shows that the moving average system is stable. Okay, this is the first property of the system, that is the input and output systems. Okay, now let us consider one example. Consider the discrete system whose input output relationship is defined by, consider a discrete system whose input output system is input output relationship input out relation is defined by, so input output. Okay, so this is a y of n. At discrete systems we are showing like this r raised to power n into x of n. Okay, so where this R is greater than 1, show that the system is unstable. Show that the system is unstable. Okay. So assume that the input signal x of n satisfies the condition for the system to be stable. Okay. So assume that the input signal x of n satisfies the condition. Satisfy the condition. Which is the condition? That is the absolute value of the input. It is less than or equal to m of x, which is less than infinite. And this is for all n. Okay. So we find that the output is given, that is y of n. Okay. Modulus of y of n is equal to, this value is given, r of n, r raised to power n into x of n. Okay, if you separate this, so this modulus of r raised to power n into the x of n, and with r is greater than 1, the multiplying factor Rn diverges for increasing n. Okay. So this factor r raised to power n, this is diverges for increasing n. Therefore, accordingly, the condition that input signal is bounded did not satisfy the guarantee of bounded output signal. So the system is unstable. Okay. So the system is unstable with r is greater than 1. To prove stability, we need to establish that all bounded input produce the bounded output. So if here the reason r is greater than 1, that means r raised to power, suppose it is greater than 1, means suppose it is 2, then it will diverge for increasing n. That means your output will be diverged from the input signal, and therefore this is not the condition for the bounded input bounded output stability, and your system will be unstable. Okay, so this is the meaning. So this system is unstable. Next property of the system is memory. Okay, well, a system is said possesses memory if its output signal depends on past or future values. If the output signal depends on past or future values on which the output defines how far the memory of the system extends into the past or future. Defines how far the memory of the system systems extends how far the memory of the system extend into the past or future. Into past or future. Okay. So in contrast, a system is said to be memoryless if it output signal is depends on the present value of the input signal. Okay. So the system is memoryless. The system is memoryless if its output signal depends only on the depends. The system is memoryless if the output signal depends only on present value of the input signal. Okay. So for example, which elements are for example, a register is a memoryless register is memoryless since the current IT flowing through it in response to the applied voltage V of t. Memoryless. What is the current flowing through this register IT in response to the applied voltage? It is denoted by like this. Okay, by using Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. So the current flowing through the register, it is given by this. Okay. So the register is memoryless because why? The current flowing through the register, it depends on the applied voltage at the present value. So where R is the resistance of the register. On the other hand, inductor has a memory. Okay. On the other hand, for example, inductor has memory. Inductor has memory. Since the current flowing through, अच्छा एक काम करा अटेंडेंस कोणीतरी पाठवा मला 5 minutes are remain. On the other hand, the inductor has memory since the current IT flowing through it is related to the applied voltage Vt, and we can write here the current flowing through this inductor so this I of t is equal to 1 over L integration of minus infinity to given time V of tau into d tau. So this is the current flowing through the inductor and L is the inductance of the inductor. L is the inductance of the inductor. So unlike the current flowing through the resistor, that current flowing through the inductor at time t depends on all the past values of the voltage applied. Okay, unlike the resistor, in the resistor, the current flowing through the resistor depends on the present value of the applied voltage, whereas in case of the inductor, the current flowing through the inductor depends on all past values of the voltage Vt. Therefore, a memory of an inductor extends into the finite past. Memory of the an inductor extend into the finite past. Okay, so this is the some examples of memory and memoryless and memory systems. Okay, let us now consider the moving system. Again, consider the moving average system. Just we have seen the moving average systems, which is denoted by this y of n is equal to 1 by 3, that is average of this input x of n plus x of n minus 1 plus x of n minus 2 has memory. Okay, now this system has memory. We have to check whether this system is having memory or not. Since the output value signal y of n at time n, okay, y of n, this is the y of n value of the output at time n. At time n, it depends upon the two past values of the input signal y of n. Depends on these two past values of the input signal x of n. In contrast, the system is described by the input-output relations. Like this, system is described by the y of n is equal to x square of n. Okay, because here the output signal y of n at time n is depends on the present and two past values of the input signal. Therefore, we can write the input-output relations, that is y of n is equal to x square of n, and whenever x square is there, this system is memoryless. Since the value of output signal y of n at a time n depends only on the present value of the input signal x of n. It depends on the present value of the input signal x of n. Okay, so this is how the moving average systems, which is described by this relationship, it has a memory. Okay, because its output is depends upon the input signal. First is x of n, second is x of n minus 1, and third is x of n minus 2. So the output signal y of n at time n is depends on the present and on two past values of the input signal x of n. But if the system is in contrast, if the system is described by the input-output relation, that is y of n is equal to x of n, x square of n, then here the system becomes memoryless. Since the value of output signal y of n at time n depends only on the present value of the input signal.